Hey yo, this is Anime Addiction 00. The next one in line with this class video thing I am doing is the Masqueraider. They're essentially a fighter, but they have these masks which kind of alter their abilities and give them more to work with more situations and whatnot. But instead of just staring at this character creation screen, let's just go ahead and get onto the character that I have ready. Wow, that loaded weirdly this time. It showed all this black voids of nothingness as it was loading all the blocks. So as I mentioned earlier, their specialty is, well, masks. And it's kind of different in a way because the masks are essential because with their branches of their elemental branches, with each one, even if you have them all unlocked, you only have 2 spells available in each branch until you wear a certain mask to unlock the rest of them. So let's just show you right here with this training dummy, so it might be a little bit easier this way. See, as you can see here, with the water, fire, and air spells, I only have 2 of them available. The rest of them will become available if I wear the specific mask for it. For example, the water branch is mostly for the coward mask, so if I put that one on, I'll have access to the rest of them. Putting on a mask as the specialty skill will always cost 1 AP, but if you choose to level it up, you'll just get some extra bonuses. And apparently you can cast it on an ally, but I saw a passive with that I'm not too sure if it needs more explanation. So for example, if you level up the Coward Mask, on each dodge you'll get an extra 10% heals because their ranged spells can also heal allies and damage enemies from quite a distance away. On each dodge, like when an enemy's in front of you and just run away from them and you get a successful dodge, you get a 10% heal bonus and you'll get an additional movement point at a higher rate if you increase it. And you'll get 1 movement point 100% of the time for each dodge, so if you're surrounded but you can still walk away, you might get a whole bunch of movement and you can just get away from them. Coward Mask is a little bit difficult in some cases though, because you do need the movement points for a lot of your spells. So for the Classic Mask, it's mostly based around the Air Branch. The Air Branch isn't really too strong when comparing it to like even the Water Branch. For some reason the Water Branch has the strongest skills once you put that Coward Mask on. But the Air Branch is mostly for moving enemies around, focusing on critical hits and having a chance to get additional action points when you critically hit. And you also can give a small damage boost to allies, sidekicks included. The Psychopath Mask, this one unlocks more fire spells to use that you can use for a variety of things. I'll probably show them in the actual fight, but figure I should at least show the masks, because I might switch to them without explaining anything, so I'll just at least get that out of the way here. So, the things that are unlocked is the Psychotic, which gives you like some area of effect that you can see here, and the Synapse, which gives you a fairly long line of sight, and it just draws you to them so they can't escape, but with the Psychopath Mask gives you a percentage of damage, but only when you're attacked. So once you get attacked, you kind of go a little bit more crazy and you get more of a damage bonus the more you choose to increase it. But you also lose some resist for that, but I'm not sure if it depends if you think it's worth it or not. I'm not too sure. I usually just use it to unlock the rest of them, but damage bonuses are always good. However, the Psychopath Mask will disappear if you don't attack, so you wear it, you're pretty much selecting to go crazy. I should show this one here too while I'm here. The Masked Spirit is pretty much summoning a double, and since my turn's almost over, might as well wait. The double, unlike the SRAM double that I think I saw a while ago, but I haven't even gotten to the SRAM yet to play it extensively, so I'm not sure. You pretty much summon a double that has your exact spells. And once you summon them, they have the mask that you are currently wearing, but they have your same hit points, your same dodge, your pretty much same everything, but damage inflicted on the double is transferred to you as well, so it doesn't mean that you're always safe from stuff like that. And there is no chance for it to last 2 turns at the low level of pretty much 0 or whatever, but if you max it out, it always will last 2 turns and it will cost less action points, but it will always cost 2 Wakfu points. So you can use it as a little bit of a distraction between your enemies, but it does have the exact same spells and whatnot, but it doesn't look like that you can change the mask it was wearing once you summon it. Like, I don't think if I even change my mask, I could make him change it. No. Alright. So, it mostly goes off the mask that you're wearing. I thought I could change the mask before, but I could be wrong. It didn't look like it because it was all grayed out. So, you can use it. I guess a good example would be if you're doing the water branch and you summon another coward mask, you can use it to just give yourself some heals or just some long range damage, or use some air spells to push them more around the field and whatnot. And the last spell is pretty simple, the Dance of Death. It only costs 1 Wakfu point regardless of its rank, but once you level it up, it'll have a range of up to 4 and need no line of sight, so you can cast it on your allies as well. And at max level, you can give it plus 10 level to all elemental spells. So you pretty much use it to give yourself a small power boost before anything you do. And since it's cheap at 1 Wakfu point, it's kind of hard not to want to level it up. So in any case, let's just get rid of this thing so I can actually show off some stuff. It's probably better to go into a real fight by now, because I'm not sure if it'll really be that big a deal. Well, actually, let's just stick with the dummy and see what else I can possibly explain. I already feel like I'm kind of losing it, because this one took me a while to do, and I kept having internet issues and whatnot with all this freaking snow. So anyway, I got the actives out of the way. Let's look at the passives real quick. It's hard to kind of recommend like what to go with in a way, because a lot of them sound useful. It's just that which thing will be useful early on and continue to be useful as you build your character is kind of another story. But the first one here is the Burst of Wakfu. This passive increases it says it increases your resistance, but I don't really see how it says that here. But it gives you a chance to gain 2 AP every time you spend Wakfu points. So if you're using like even the Dance of Death, like every turn you can get an additional 2 AP so you can do more stuff and do more damage. But you can only do it, it only gives you 1 every 2 turns. So I guess the effect will only take place like every 2 other turns or so. Something like that. It's sometimes kind of vague. But in any case, more action points is always a good thing. And since you're going to be using Wakfu points anyway, at some point, why not? Artful Dodger is pretty interesting, since dodging can be kind of useful, especially for the water branch, but pretty much for anything just because why not? Mostly because of the Artful Dodger, because depending on how much you leveled up, a percentage of your dodge will count as your damage bonus. So if you're powering up your dodge, you'll also become more powerful in the long run. Up to 30% of your dodge will be counted as extra damage. So it's like if you're going to be dodgy, you might as well get some extra damage in there. Next one is Charade. It allows you to kind of get a new status called Renewal, and that's when you build up kind of like points depending on what you do in your fights. And it'll pretty much return a Wakfu point once you build up the points to 100. So since you're going to be using so much Wakfu points, kind of, if you go down that line with like the Burst of Wakfu and whatnot, it builds up points and raises in value the more you level it up. For example, at level 1, come on, get to 1, You'll get 1 point per critical hit, 1 point per dodge, and for each monster killed you get 2 points. But you'll still, regardless of level, only get a max of 40 points, or 40 to level per turn. So it'll take you about 3 turns to get a Wakfu point back if you can get that much going in 1 turn. If you max it out, you get 20 points per critical hit, 10 points per dodge, and for each monster killed you get 40. So it's kind of hard to maybe balance it out. You might have to actually think of your tactics around there if you don't want to waste the opportunities, but then again, if you're just killing monsters, might as well just do what you can. So yeah, I think that's kind of helpful just to get some Wakfu points back, since just doing the Dance of Death every turn for some additional effects would probably drain it pretty fast. So if you upgrade Carnival, this is when you can use the masks on your allies. It's weird because it says it costs 4 AP of cast on an ally, but I guess you still have to get the Carnival spell first to even be able to do that. But it says it also costs 3 more AP to cast, so you're spending 7 AP or so that's kind of expensive. Honestly, I'm not too sure how it can help other people, but I guess now that I actually think about it, you can, because this one helps the dodgy ally get out of the way, getting more movement points, and even if they have heals, for example, they can use heals. They can get buffs for allies. They can just get more angry for those that are up close and personal. So yeah, that can be pretty cool for some support. And this one I maxed out because I just thought it was like the most handy and went hand in hand with the Artful Dodger. Well, that's just me. The Mask Master, you give yourself a passive dodge. You get extra critical hit damage. When you kill an enemy, you heal a certain percentage of hit points. Sorry about that. So at max, you get 40 dodge, 40% critical hit damage, and you heal 10% of your HP when you kill an enemy. I found that really helpful, so I just really wanted to max that out. So instead of just me not shutting up and not showing anything, let's actually show some spells. So I guess I'll go with the Water Branch first. The first two are mostly for getting some distance away from your enemy. This one is Fugue, I guess? And it costs 2 action points and 1 movement point. It can only be right next to you though. And it just pushes you away from like this. Although since it died, you can't really see too much of it, so... Actually, yeah, I think I'm gonna find some peewees or something, so at least they'll prolong the fight just a little bit. So I'll be right back. So yeah, I'm back, and this might take a while because I probably picked a mob too big, and I forgot to put sidekicks in to try and make it a little bit quicker. But in any case, they shouldn't be able to kill me, hopefully. If not, I might have to... If it seems like it's getting bad, I might have to switch things around. But anyway, Backbeat has some pretty good range, and it also pushes the enemy away as long as pushing you away. So it gives some extra distance, but it's pretty costly at 4 AP. But if you need the distance, you gotta do something with it. So let's just get some even more distance here, even though they can probably reach me. Now I gotta wait for all of them to peck at me. Yeah, distance, run away, blah, blah, blah. Yeah, enjoy the pecking while you can, because once I get my coward mask on, you all are gonna die. From a coward, yeah. Okay. So last one to go. Yeah, Angry Bird, and coward mask goes on. Now you can see that the rest of the 3 have come back here. The first one is Spitfall for 3 action points and 1 movement point. 2 uses. It's only 2 uses per turn. You can heal an ally and it actually rebounds to the closest ally to heal them as well. If you also cast it on an ally, you give them +6 dodge. So it's pretty handy for support and offense. But since it costs movement points, it kind of gets rid of your ability to run away unless you're kind of letting them get up close to you to dodge. So that's why the Water Branch is kind of tricky. Especially with the next one called Spitball. It's even stronger and more costly at 4 AP and 2 movement points, but it doesn't need a line of sight. You can heal an ally with that, and you switch places with them if they really need the help. But it's only 1 use per target, but since it's kind of costly, you might not be able to do it otherwise. So now I'll just wait for them to come close again for the very last one. Spittoon at 5 action points and 1 Wakfu point. It doesn't have as much range as even Spittoon. Spitfall and Spitball, but it's the most powerful water spell. It can heal for the most, and actually can attract an ally by 2 cells if they need to get close to you for some heals or just to get them out of trouble. So I'm just gonna get rid of this right there. Might as well get rid of the rest of them with this, because there's only 1 left. Actually, he keeps running away, so I might be able to prolong this. So the next one, I guess I'll go with the classic mask and see if I can get him over here. Draw him over here. Yeah, he's gonna be stupid, isn't he? So I guess I'm gonna have to skip to the Fire Branch and skip to a certain spell, because this is gonna be stupid otherwise. So with this one, I unlocked the Synapse, which you probably saw a little bit of. It has a decent line of sight. And you come into contact, it has a little area of effect around the red area. So once you hit them, it would hit others around them as well. It's kind of expensive at 5 AP, but it has some good distance to get you up close if they keep getting away from you like that. But if you don't have any luck, they're going to probably run away from you just as easily. I might as well just do the rest of the Fire Branch, since it's easier that way. Fracture is the first spell that I don't think I've used yet, but has an interesting area of effect, it kind of breaks out into a T. So you can use that for some interesting area of effect spells. Let's get into this fight right away. Oh, and this one is easy for the next one. So just get the Psychopath mask on, get ready. The next one is Hornito, a very basic area of effect spell. 4 AP cost, doesn't really do anything else, it's just an area of effect right around you. And here it's very helpful because that's how they're around me, but wasn't really strong enough to just outright kill them. So let's just wait for them to do their thing. But since I have the Psychopath mask on, my damage will go up a little bit. And I think the more you get hit, the more levels will go up. I think it only go up to a certain amount. Like, I imagine it will only go up to level 10, and it will go up by more percentages the more you level it up. So for me, I only go up by 1% each time I get hit, because I haven't leveled it. So the next one is Psychotic. Also a decent area effect, but only in a 2 square plus sign, and it costs 3 AP and 1 movement point. So since I had to move to get to them, I can't really cast it twice. But it's a decent area of effects type of thing. And I can still hit you, because you annoy me. And then the next one is kind of tricky, because it seems like it goes in a very different or random area. Can I use it this way? Yes, I can use it this way. Alright. Oh, what the heck? I can't use it that way anymore. See? Alright. So, this one, I was gonna have to skip and try it again, because I don't know why it does that. I'm not sure if it's a glitch or what. But Psych Out has 1 use per turn. It's the most expensive spell I think you have in the entire arsenal, with all the elemental things considered. It costs 6 AP and 1 movement point and 1 Wakfu point. You move to the edge of the area. What the heck? I can't move that way. Why does it do that? There. It's so random. I think it's a glitch. But yeah, you go into that line. You can go right through any enemies, and you stop at the end. And then you also turn the enemy's gaze towards you. Oops, that wasn't close enough. That was dumb. Oh well. And another note with the Psychopath mask buff, if you switch to another mask, that mask damage buff won't carry over once you change your mask. So anyway, to the air branch, I can't use it in order because they're too far away. So I'll go to a class Tenet. You can go and ignore line of sight and go behind the target, but you also turn it to face it towards you and you push it back. So it's kind of interesting with how much you push it around and such. You can use it to get out of sticky situations, I suppose. And also, other than just manipulating all the movement, it's also about kind of pushing them into walls for the little bit of extra damage. So you can use it to your advantage for that little bit of extra damage and pushing them into walls and just moving about the battlefield however you like with all these crazy flip kicks. I just gotta wait for these. Okay. Alright, I think I can actually do stuff here. The first spell of the Wind Branch that I can do, because it's actually right here, it costs 3 AP. It turns the target to its side and pushes it back 1 cell, and also has extra damage, air damage, if you push it into a collision. But since it died, you couldn't really see it get turned back. But since I got a critical hit, I actually got 1 AP as a bonus. The next one is Scherzo. Costs 2 movement points, and you just kick it, and you kind of follow it. So it's good to save your AP, I suppose, with that one. You can use it for some interesting air combos, or combos with anything else, but it is kind of costly at 2 movement points. So a lot of the spells seem to use movement points. Anyway, let's look at this one. Next one is kind of expensive at 4 AP, but it's a little bit stronger. Classroll, you push back 2 cells and follow, and if there's a collision, they also get an additional hit points damage per cell you push them back. But I got a critical hit, so you couldn't see it get pushed back again. Let's try this one. Okay, I think this isn't working. I probably should have picked a stronger monster thing. Yes, you do push it back 2 cells normally. And the next one is Casablanca. It's actually the cheapest spell you can pretty much cast at 2 action points, 1 movement point, with the exception of 1 Wakfu point. It doesn't have too much range, but it's fairly powerful, I guess, stronger than most of the air spells. You come into contact with them, then you push them back. So you can use it as a range thing and also get them to get away from you. And this, oh yeah, there's a strict limit. It's 2 uses per turn. Makes sense. So yeah, I don't think that I can. Yeah, it's gonna die anyway. So I couldn't really show him pushing it back, but it is helpful with pushing things into walls for a little bit of extra damage, even though the air branch generally I think is just to help you get out of certain situations. Yeah, sorry if I didn't really show too much about that, but the Masquerader is kind of complicated for me to get used to, but I guess hopefully you'll take my word for it with the pushing around, unless you just want to wait for another fight, which I doubt it, because I think my videos are way too long already, so let's just move on to stat-wise. As I mentioned, it might depend on which mask you want to go with what you want to do. And since it was probably a bad idea because I have like no hit points and I have to pretty much rely on my sidekicks to be meat shields, but I upgraded their lifesteal almost to max so far, because now they have lifesteal with their damage and then they'll heal after killing an enemy, so I'll just keep healing. But I probably should have just got regeneration and some hit points because I'm already healing so much. Of course, the damage depends on which branch you want to focus on. I did some fire, since fire is second powerful, but then I started putting a point into water, because it's by default pretty strong, so I thought if anything I can at least get some bonus damage and resistance off of that. But of course, if you wanted to, you could put it into air and maybe see how powerful it can get. I think dodge is extremely important for it, regardless of what you choose, because it'll also help the coward mask, even if you're not maining it, because then at least you get a chance to get some bonuses if you switch to your coward mask, and since it's cheap at only 1 AP to switch masks, it doesn't really hurt. And since it also excuse me, goes with the Artful Dodger for some damage bonuses, I think, dodge is pretty good. I mean, I'm not sure if they're really meant to stay up close in personal fights too much, but dodge and lock might be okay too, or just some extra lock for the Psychopath mask, so they have trouble running away from you again, but not too sure. I would recommend critical hits because it goes well with the classic mask and you get more, and on each critical hit you of course get a chance to get extra AP and some damage bonuses for your allies. And on critical hits, if you get the charade for the renewal, you'll want critical hits for extra points if you want. And also probably next is critical damage, because then they'll stack up nicely with the Mask Master with already critical damage bonuses, so you'll be doing some decent amount of damage just because you get a whole bunch of critical hits. And for this one, I do highly suggest action points still, but it's actually kind of difficult, because if you get the right equipment, you'll still get the +1 action point. But a lot of their spells use movement points, so I would probably be really close to recommend movement points, because then you could still do stuff and still run around, and after you've cast all of the spells that require movement points, like the kick where you follow them 2 squares when it only costs 2 movement points, and all of the water spells that you spit from a distance, you spit, and you kind of attack from a distance, but then you don't have much movement points left to keep running away, so yeah, it's kind of a bit of a hard choice, but in any case, hopefully I left some kind of insight with what you want to do with the character. Sorry if this is a bit long again. Still trying to get used to it. So anyway guys, bye!